In the early spring of 2015, while she was traveling through Siberia, she wrote to me in Gothenburg. I really wanted to make a film about the first person to live forever. When technological change becomes so rapid and so profound, human bodies and brains will merge with machines. This event is called the singularity. Soon after the first person reaches human version 2, the human race as we know it will come to an abrupt end. We will then have to decide what we would like the human race to become, as we will transcend our biology. But that is another film altogether, and I don't think I'll ever make this film. What do you think? How's life?
The idea that people can make their life better through talking, through understanding, through education of different kinds, seems to be pretty sound. And these things are incredibly low tech. And though it's like if you could imagine like talking or activities like I don't know, martial arts, for instance, meditation, talking therapy. These are the activities which have a very, very small economic footprint. It's all just about knowledge. And I believe that they can actually, the right recipe of these can make a big difference to people's happiness. We have the issue of happiness here. Happiness is what everybody is pursuing, and considering how much effort everybody's making in pursuing it, it seems quite remarkable that people aren't succeeding more. Maybe in countries where necessity is a very big factor, then, well, you know, you can say, well, they're not happy because they're hungry, whereas in fact they are happy, more likely to be happy than people in countries like this, where people are, you know, necessities are not the driving force. But happiness is actually not as common as you would expect it to be, if you're maybe thinking that, you know, that the material success was the key. And so, with that realization, what are we doing wrong? People must be. The only logical conclusion is that people are searching for happiness in the wrong places.
In 2012, while I was traveling from Edinburgh back to London, I wrote to her in Paris. Hey June, if you folded a piece of paper in half and kept folding it 50 times, how thick would it be? The answer is about 100 million kilometers, almost the distance between the Sun and the Earth. The growth is exponential. Like the age of information and technology we're living in now, we are now reaching the knee of this exponential curve. When this curve of time, matter and information hits vertical, that will be the singularity moment. So profound, microscopic programmable machines living in your bloodstream that repairs cells and fight disease. Nanotechnology is able to go into a lump of coal and change the structure into a diamond. Imagine how they'll be able to redesign and enhance the longevity of our bodies. In 2010, while she was living in Berlin, she wrote to me in Mumbai. Hey Jay, how's India? Check this out. I attached a video clip to this performance I shot on my mobile. Remind you of somebody we know?
Hey, I'm going to have an exhibition here in 2 weeks, really. I'm going to have a performance in 3 weeks. I'm going to throw myself around, I'm going to throw chairs around, I'm going to cut myself 23 times. Really, I haven't a shag in like 23 minutes. Really, I haven't had a job in like 23 years. Really, I used to share a squat encounter with Nina Hagen, and she used to make pizza out of dead dogs. Really. I bumped into David Blaine earlier in Celeocanth. Really? We used to hang out together in Brazil. Really? My uncle designed a palace of dawn in Brasilia. Really? My uncle designed the anal staircase. Really? My uncle's cock is like 12 inches long. Really? But my cock is like 14 inches long. Really? But my cock was amputated after a motorcycling accident. Really? But I was once in a plane crash and David Hasselhoff saved me from the burning ashes. Really? I was cremated once. Really? I was born with only one leg. Really? Yeah, I think I really fancy you. Really? So do I.
In terms of building a culture which will actually function, first in terms of resources and in terms of people's happiness, people who think about these things know enough about what that culture would look like to have an idea of what kind of program would be most beneficial, what kind of stories would be most beneficial, what kind of information. And I think the stories about consumption are not beneficial, except in making revenue for the people who are doing it. It's transfer of wisdom of some kind, of enlightenment, education, which has huge possibilities for enhancing human happiness. And because they're not resource-based, there doesn't seem to be any limit to their expansion in a sustainable way. I mean, you have more people, that's just needs more teachers. Well, you've got more people, you'll be able to find more teachers.
You have written one time or another some sentences which have surprised me a little about death. Now, in particular, I remember you said that death is psychologically just as important as birth, and like it, it's an integral part of life, but surely it can't be like birth if it's an end, can it?
Yes, if it's an end. And there we are not quite certain about this end. Because, you know, there are these peculiar faculties of the psyche, that it isn't entirely confined to space and time. You can have dreams or visions of the future. You can see round corners and such things. Only ignorance deny these facts. It's quite evident that they do exist and have existed always. Now these facts show that the psyche, in part at least, is not dependent upon these confinements. And then what? When the psyche is not under that obligation to live in time and space alone, and obviously it doesn't, then to that extent the psyche is not submitted to those laws. And that means a practical continuation of life, of a sort of psychical existence beyond time and space.
In 2009, while driving through Sweden, she wrote to me in Cape Town one last time. If you could walk around inside someone's brain, you wouldn't find consciousness. Quantum theory came about in an attempt to try and explain consciousness. Quantum mechanics is almost like the universe is being conscious of itself, and we are like quantum holograms projected from the edge of space. Every atom, every particle of matter is attached to the end of countless, infinitely long, elusive strings that weave through 10 different dimensions. And as they vibrate, this manifests all the illusions you see around you. Everything is linked by these strings and their resonance. These memories, thought to be dead for millions and millions of years, are now alive again through the visionary technology of video. Here's some good advice from the future. We live in a mysterious universe. There is almost certainly no reason to us being here, other than the reason you find for yourself. The universe is not benevolent. It is hell-bent on destruction, and it will eventually kill you. Everything must die. Even the universe must die. There isn't any God or curses, only forces to be overcome. we're floating in a cold, dark, bleak vacuum of space. And through all this chaotic determination, it is up to each one of us to find meaning and try to make beautiful magic in the light of it all.
The future's not what it used to be. The future's not what it used to be. I spent the first 30 years of my life trying to get good at stuff, trying to get good at making films, trying to get good at making music. I want to do something with my life. I want to be a cyborg.